On Wednesday, September 28th, one of the strongest hurricanes to ever make landfall in the history of all time tore its way through the west coast of Florida, where our family lives, where our family lived. They're safe, thank God they evacuated, but the devastation that awaits is incomprehensible. It is in these moments that we must come together and help build each other back up, because we need each other. This is so hard to start. Okay.
You got this.
As some of you may know, our families live in Fort Myers Beach, Florida.
And Fort Myers is really close to me because after graduating high school, I went to FGCU in Fort Myers, lived inland just a little bit, and my parents shortly followed down, came to Florida from Michigan, and they basically always dreamed of living in a beach community in such a beautiful place by the water.
And a few days ago, Hurricane Ian, who is now being remembered as the storm of 1,000 years, one of the strongest hurricanes to ever make landfall in the history of all time.
And it certainly brought the highest levels of storm surge that anybody could imagine. The sheriff of Fort Myers is saying that it brought somewhere between 12 and 14 foot of water. It followed the river all the way upland. It was basically the dirty backside of the storm. The eye of the hurricane was spinning counterclockwise, and all the water was being sucked up from Tampa Bay down to Sarasota and churned in a big circle and tossed onto Fort Myers Beach all the way down to Naples.
First, we have to say that we are above and beyond grateful that our families evacuated. Yeah. Drew's parents went to Fort Lauderdale, where my parents were.
They also have a camper van, which made evacuation that much easier.
Oh my goodness. If you don't have a van for any other reason other than for natural disaster, for safety reasons, we are so grateful that they have a van.
Yeah, you know how big of proponents we are for vans, how much it's changed our lives, how much we love the freedom they bring. Well, they're the perfect vehicle to be able to escape a situation like this.
And we feared that if they didn't have this van, that they may not have evacuated.
One thing I want to say related to the whole storm is this was a small tropical storm that was heading up towards Cuba. It basically built up speed, crossed Cuba, and devastated much of Cuba, and then picked up steam as it headed towards Florida. Earlier in the week, on Monday, most people thought it was going to go all the way up to the Panhandle. Nobody really expected that it was going to turn and head more inland, more south. It was predicted at one time to go into Tampa, then Sarasota, then Venice Beach, and then Port Charlotte. Eventually, it ended up having a bit of a pull and getting sucked by a cold depression of air that was sucked down over the southeast of the U.S. and headed right in somewhere between Punta Gorda, Englewood, just north of Fort Myers and Sanibel.
Something else about Hurricane Ian is that it picked up speed in a record-breaking amount of time because the temperatures of the ocean were 3 degrees warmer than usual, meaning that it was able to escalate from a Category 3 to a Category 4 in just a number of hours.
Yeah, and it was only 2 miles an hour off of what was needed to be classified as a Category 5 hurricane at 157 miles of continuous wind speeds.
And while our family survived, they still have not been able to go to their home. We think that today might be the first day that they're able to see the destruction. But to give you an idea, their home was less than a minute walk from the sand. And we saw some drone footage that somebody had put up on YouTube a couple days ago,
showing various streets that were on the island, and theirs happened to be one of those. And it just shows all the neighbors' homes right around them, close to the beach, were just wiped out, completely flattened like a bomb went off.
We could see that their home is still standing, which we are very grateful for, though we are not sure what the water damage was.
Yeah. We know with these water levels being so high, we know it decimated the bottom floor and potentially went up to the second floor, but we're only left guessing at this point.
And after spending 3 months in Europe, where we were searching for our dream property, if you've been following our channel, then you know that that's where we were.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
But after returning, because our Schengen visas had expired, we flew back to Florida. We were able to spend 3 beautiful weeks with our families in Florida, in Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah,
and
enjoying kayaking and paddleboarding, going for runs on the beach, just eating at the local restaurants and taking in the sunsets.
Feeling so grateful that our families chose to live in such a beautiful place that we got to come back to, and it really felt more like a vacation than anything.
Yeah.
I love how soft the sand is.
It's the best.
Get in the water.
Let's go.
We were living in their dream. We were living in what they had,
created over the last 10 years. They've had a house out at the beach for over 10 years now, and it's just been something that they've really enjoyed having.
And then we flew back to Michigan, where Drew remotely manages a radiology business. We even considered moving our flights 2 weeks later so we could stay in Florida a little bit longer.
But had we done so, we would have ended up there during this storm.
And so now we are sharing this story with you from Utah, because that is where our Sprinter van was waiting for us. It is where we left it before we went to Europe.
Yep, at a storage facility down the way.
This is our full-time home. Again, if you're new to our channel, our lives are a little bit all over the place, but our hearts are 100% with everyone being affected by Hurricane Ian right now.
Yeah. And as we speak, it's still headed up the coast into the Carolinas and all of that area, so they're not out of the clear at the moment either.
And we really pray that everyone who's asked to evacuate, please evacuate, because that is what saved our family.
Yeah. Especially if you live in the coastal communities, on the barrier islands or somewhere that's prone to flooding.
Even inland, though, you just don't know.
Yeah.
This hurricane is a monster.
I also just want to add, not only was it my parents' house, all of my stuff from growing up. This is one of my secret treasures. This is the vault. Open sesame. These are all my foreign coins.
The Queen.
Hey look, $1 million bill. But really there's some really cool money in here. I love the colorful bills. State Quarters series collector's maps. Our sparklers from our wedding. Our autograph frame with Skip.
Aw, that was the first time we met.
Yeah, Skip's the founder of Jansport. A lot of stuff that Brittany had was all sitting in the bottom of that house. So this is super impactful to us in terms of just memorabilia, baby albums, all those kinds of things. 5-0 was my jam. Most likely gone.
The entire bottom story of that house.
Yeah.
Most likely has no walls. It's studs.
The flood damage is just came in and just sucked everything right out.
But we are not of this world. Yeah. We can't take it with us when we go to the heavens.
Nope.
So
just stuff.
Just have to hand it over.
Surrender it and give it to God.
Yeah. But
it is definitely devastating to see the impact that it's made, and still so many people are stranded right now. They say there's about 300 people that stayed on Sanibel Island. The whole Causeway Bridge is missing huge sections. They're going to have to ferry people. All of Fort Myers is under a water restriction where all the water is contaminated and needs to be boiled.
But
there's no power.
Yeah.
There's no cell signal to a lot of areas. We've even tried calling my parents earlier today, and they don't pick up. There's no, it doesn't even ring through on their phones.
And we think that this is because they have been able to go to their home, and that must be why there's no service there. There's no cell phone towers. But anyway, we're just trying to remain present. We still have, episodes to share about the water mill and
about Portugal and just our journey in general, which is so exciting.
It is, but at the same time, it's hard to be there when our minds and hearts and our bellies and everything is so consumed with. Yeah,
they just ache a little bit for all that's happened down there. And we haven't confirmed it yet, but we think it's going to be changing our plans for the near future as well.
Yeah, we may be going to help. When it comes to ways we can help, our minds are racing with different ideas. With survivors anticipating being without power for 2+ months, we can't help but think about how useful it would be for everyone to have a portable solar-powered generator. Jackery has been extremely useful for our off-grid lifestyle, but in the midst of a natural disaster, its benefits could be described as life-saving. We even gifted my mom with a Jackery 1500 and two 100-watt solar panels just before hurricane season. Because they're able to be recharged using the power of the sun, especially being in the sunshine state, these units offer people a way to supply power to their tools, recharge their phones, and with the Explorer 2000 Pro, they can even power refrigerators and portable AC units, ultimately allowing survivors and rescue workers the ability to function in crucial ways in the midst of what will be a very long road to recovery. Each unit comes with a warranty, and for orders over $500, you can even choose to pay via a monthly payment program. So whether your life or the life of someone you know could be made better with the support of a portable solar power generator, you can visit our link below to explore the options. We're also hoping to be able to personally deliver a few units ourselves. We will put a link below to volunteer efforts to help with Florida, and if you are willing and able to donate,
or just feel compelled to.
Yeah. We'll put links to opportunities and ways that you can help make a difference below. So thanks for watching. Prayers and thoughts and strength for everyone who's being affected. Just be safe out there. We love you guys and we love this community. Thank you for just being there with us through it all.
Yeah.
The good times and the hard times. We'll see you in the next one, which will hopefully be a little bit more uplifting. Okay.
Be well, guys.
We love you.
And if you're watching this from anywhere in Florida, take care of yourselves.
Yeah, we're with you in spirit.